After the success of the Bitcoin ETF, BlackRock wants to tokenize ETFs. Blockchain is the way of the future, and more financial companies are realizing this. Larry Fink has told us where he thinks these markets are going. We now have some new and correct facts about this. We also have a new video clip of the founder of Ondo talking about Ondo Ripple with the Bankless Show. This is also something we're going to talk about. And at the end, we have some other news and information about XRP that ties this all together. This is why I wanted to look at some of these big financial market infrastructures like DTCC, Euroclear, Clearstream, and JASDEC in Japan. I want to know where they stand with moving to blockchain and what kind of timeline we can expect going forward. Then Bank XRP put up this Bloomberg story. You won't be able to see it if you don't have Bloomberg, but I did look it up to see what this means and what's going on here. So BlackRock is working hard on plans to turn ETFs into tokens. They are building on the institutional trust that was built when they successfully launched their Bitcoin ETFs in 2024 and 2025. The strategic push aims to use blockchain technology for standard financial instruments. For example, ETFs will be available as digital tokens to make them easier for investors to access, more open and more efficient. BlackRock's plan for tokenization is BlackRock's plan to tokenize exchange-traded funds was confirmed by the Bitcoin ETF's strong performance, which saw a lot of money come into the market and a lot of excitement. The company has already learned a lot from its tokenized liquidity fund. Buildable, which came out in 2024, is now a multi-billion-dollar blockchain-based product. This shows that both the technology and the institutions are ready for bigger tokenized projects. BlackRock was trying by putting money into the account to see how easy it was and to find out where the problems were so they could fix them in the future. This is because when they start putting real money into the account, they'll want to be able to do this on a large scale very quickly. Also, I learned a few more things, like how much money are we talking about? That's what I think is on my mind. I think that's also what's on your mind. Basically, BlackRock could turn assets worth trillions of dollars into tokens. By 2030, they think they can do this with assets worth between $3.5 and $10 trillion. It's said that 16 trillion will be worth in tokens by 2030. If BlackRock tokenizes 10 trillion by itself by 2030, I think that number will still be 16. You think there will only be 6 in the rest of the market. I think that the faster we can get this done by regulating it and getting governments around the world to work together, the faster we'll be able to get hundreds of trillions of dollars in tokenized value. However, I really think this will still take at least 10 to 15 years. It does say 18.9 trillion by 2033. If global tokenization of real-world assets speeds up as planned, the value of these tokenized assets will end up on public and private blockchains where they are given, changed, and settled as digital tokens. This will make markets more liquid and global. It does say that investments worth $11.6 trillion are being managed. Their current bill to pay is between 2.5 and 2.9 billion, and it's going up quickly every month. Analysts in the field say that all types of assets such as metals, government bonds, private equity, and real estate stocks could eventually be turned into tokens with a global market worth $18.9 trillion. There are a lot of really cool things going on with BlackRock. I think they'll be working with some of the biggest names in the business like Ondo and maybe even Ripple, right? Well, I believe this man is the father of Ondo. Stable coins and the future of money are what we're talking about. Display coins have really shown what they can do, right? That is, we now have a plan for how to make assets available to everyone without permission and transferred from peer to peer. People outside of crypto are starting to understand that power and promise when it comes to money. In many ways, the problems we have to solve now in the area of stocks are even bigger, right? I mean, the current ways of settling security claims are even more dispersed, complicated, and slow across regions, right? It seems like almost every area has set up its own central stock depository. In the US, it's the DTC, EUR, Clearstream, and LuxCSD are in Europe, and a lot of them are in Asia. Not only that, but moving assets from one CSD to another can take days or even weeks. I also think that shifting money around in the trade system has similar points of friction. Though I believe we are very excited about the idea of making stable coins work like money do for other things. Okay, when working with other financial market infrastructures in other countries that handle securities, it could take a very long time for something to get from the DTCC to one of these other systems, which is what my man is saying here. And how do you link all of these processes together? How do you instantly move that value, and who owns that value across all of these systems at the same time? That's the real problem we're trying to solve on a large scale. I'm going to show you some of the things he talked about here. Centralized organizations like the DTCC in the US, Euroclear in Europe, Clearstream in Germany and Luxembourg, and JASDEC in Japan make up the world's biggest security settlement infrastructure. To make global interoperability and modernization possible, each is essential for settling trillions of dollars worth of securities deals every day. Today, the best blockchain-based solutions are enterprise-level ones like IBM Blockchain, Hyperledger Fabric, and tokenized infrastructure run by CSDS in collaboration with big providers. These offer scalable settlement that is compliant with regulations and finality in real time. In this case, it does talk a little about the DTCC, which is a big national security settlement network. I just looked up a lot of information to show you that the Nasdaq's clearing goes through the DTC, which is a branch of the DTCC and the NSCC. I did some really cool research for that. In the past few days, I made two movies. If you really want to understand this better, go watch those movies. I'm not going to talk about it here. Euroclear talks about the UK, Euronext, Central Securities Depositories, Germany, Luxembourg, SIC, Swiss, Switzerland, LCH, UK, Pan-European, Clearstream, and other EU countries. This article is about Japan. That one has already been talked about. Japan Securities Depository Center is what it means. The China Clear, China Central Depository and Clearing, China Bond, and Shanghai Clearing House are all in China. Australia's ASX is linked to CSD. There are a lot of acronyms here. Euroclear Bank and Clearstream are two international banks.